Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's going to be a different type of piece. I do want to incorporate more type of videos like this in the future on the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be discussing a very not great topic. I know a lot of people do this. Unfortunately, it is a tactic, and we're going to be going through the pros and cons of subbotting. The reason why I'm doing this is because I know there's a lot of creators that I've met who are just starting up, and obviously I just want to tell you guys it's not really worth it. But we are going to go through the pros and cons of things because there's actually some pros to subbotting, surprisingly, right? Like there is pros to it. Not too many pros, but there is, and we're going to be going through each one, and basically we'll just tell you if it's worth it or not. I'm not going to be telling you websites on how to do this stuff because that's not what this video is intentional for. It's just to give you guys some type of idea what it is, because subbotting is a very big thing in modern social media. Basically what subbotting is, it's artificial accounts are sub to your channel. It's just they're bots, they create tons of different bots to sub to different channels. It's not legit people. So for example, if you upload a video and you have 10,000 subscribers and you bought it 5,000 of them, they're not going to watch the video, right? So basically going into the actual YouTube analytics, we'll start off with that. So let's say you just started botting, right? You have 10,000 subs. We're just gonna look at 10,000 subs as the main number. Your views on that video is not going to highlight what 10,000 subs is, because again, 5,000 of those subs are dead, right? They're just bots. They're not going to be watching the video. They're not going to be commenting. They're not going to be liking. So in the YouTube algorithm, the YouTube algorithm picks up likes. It does pick up comments, and it does pick up watch time. If you're not getting any of those three things on your video, your CTR is going to be below minimum. And CTR is extremely important on YouTube because if you do not have a good CTR, YouTube doesn't really recommend your content as much, because basically CTR is a click-through ratio, and then we also have watch time as well. So let's say you upload a video to 10, you have 10,000 subs, and maybe you have, so we said 5, you have 5,000 legit subs, but here's the thing, right? Even when you have a lot of amount of subs, like I can tell you from being at a 1,000 sub mark, each video gets about maybe 10%. Like the CTR is usually like anywhere between 8 and 10, depending. Most of the videos do hit like 100 views, some don't, because I upload a lot. So it depends. I do have a lot of videos that hit 200 views, 100, which is pretty standard. Like for when you have like 10,000 subs, you should be hitting anywhere between like, I would say 700 to 1,000 views per video. So if you have 10,000 subs and you're not hitting that, you might have taken a break from YouTube. They could have botted, it's just kind of stuff like that, right? So you just have to keep that in mind when you're watching people. And again, CTR is so important, and you do not want to have 10,000 subscribers and have a video hitting 100 views. I understand that some people do take breaks from YouTube because there is people who rise to 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, even 100,000. Then they'll take a break for a month, and YouTube is not forgiving of that at all. YouTube is not forgiving of the fact if you take a break. I'm telling you guys right now, breaks on YouTube kill your channel. They really kill your channel, because YouTube likes you to be 100% on the ball all the time. Even if you take a week off, YouTube's algorithm, it takes a while to get back into it. It really does. So you have to be as consistent as possible. So when you see someone with 10,000 subs not getting 1,000 views per video, they might have just killed their own channel, right? It happens, especially for people who upload different games. That is another topic that we could talk about, because now we're going to get into more like how to tell when someone's botting. The easiest way to tell, again, is you'll see, obviously if you look at Social Blade, you could see it if it's like a fixed number every day. But the thing is, when you hit 1,000 subs, your Social Blade will only go up by the 10s. It's not going to go by the 20s. It's not going to by like 8s or 5s anymore. It's just going to go up by 10s. So when you get to 1,000 subs, keep that in mind. Social Blade updates itself where it's not going to be showing like, oh, you got 8 subs today, oh, you got 10 subs today. No, it's just no, sorry, it will show you that you get 10 subs a day. It won't show you if you have 8 or 5. That's basically how Social Blade that I've realized works. When you have 10,000 subs, it's usually like 100 subs only will pop up, and then when I think it's like over 100, it's only by the thousands. That's kind of how it works. So when you see that, it's not botting. What botting is if you see the same exact interval every single day, because most of these botting sites, they'll give you 100 subs every single day, which is sometimes realistic, sometimes it's not. So how you can tell is by the views. You have to look at someone's views, because if they're not collabing, if they're not getting big time guys on the channel, if they're not appearing on someone big's channel, or any of that jazz, they're not going to be getting a lot of traction, right? It makes sense. How are you going to go from making just normal videos every day to getting 100 subs a day, but your views are about like 400, 500 views, which doesn't make any sense. Sometimes videos do well, and sometimes it does happen, but it not really happens that often. Usually the views and the subs will make sense because, let's say, for example, you made like a how-to video, right? You do the how-to World of Warcraft, Genshin, Dokkan, whatever it may be, and you get 20,000 views from that. Those 20,000 views for a couple days will be there on your Social Blade. So like every day you'll see like a couple thousand views on there, and then you'll see the subs going up. And even after the fact. But let's say you see someone that has 100 views on for one day, and then they get 100 subs. It doesn't make much sense. It doesn't, right? It does not make any sense in that matter. So that is definitely some ways of checking it. Do not always look at the Social Blade though. You can't always tell with that, but you could have a better idea when you look at their actual channel. Like again, you see someone with 10,000 subs getting 100 views per video, unless, here's the other thing, this does happen. So there's a lot of different variables to this, right? There's a lot of different variables to subbotting, and just people in general. They could have had 10,000 subs already because they're doing a different game, and then they decided to do a different game. Like, look, imagine me. So I got to 1,000 subs doing Dokkan. Now out of nowhere, I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to start doing Love Life. I just start doing Love Life, and then my CTR will drop to like 10. Like I'll get like 10 views a video or some nonsense like that because my whole community likes Dokkan and like Dragon Ball related things. So like that does happen. So you also have to look at that because you could also just research it. Like you could go through the person's channel and look at the old stuff, and that it does happen. There is guys who swap out their content. There's guys with hundreds of thousands of subs that unfortunately YouTube glitches a lot. YouTube does glitch a lot. So those are just some factors in it. So the other thing that we want to talk about in the video, it's because we kind of talked about how to tell. Again, if you look at someone's sub count or like their Social Blade, and they're getting like 100 to 500 views, but they're getting like 100 to 200 subs every day, obviously put it together. And someone smaller, right? Someone smaller who's not working with anybody is going up substantially with no big videos being hit. You could tell. It's very easy to tell. It's very easy to tell when someone's botting or not, because again, you could look at the traction, you could look at their comments, you could look at the likes, you could look at everything, because it wouldn't make much sense for you to get a giant growth spurt without having your CTR be at least at 8 to 10%, which is pretty normal. Because again, you look at people like Truth, right? Truth, a Dokkan tuber, 282,000 subscribers. You guys are about on like 20 to 50k per video, which makes sense. You're never gonna hit that entire, like all the subs. You're never gonna get that where all the subs watch your video. You're gonna get a huge chunk of it, but not all of it, right? Because if a lot of people do sub to you, but they won't be watching all your content, there's just certain things they'll come and watch, and that's kind of normal on YouTube. So anywhere between like that 8 to 10, obviously 20 being extremely high, but I would say like 8 to 10 is typical. No, yeah, that's typical. And then like obviously if you're doing well, anywhere between 10 and like 25% CTR, which is very high. That's extremely high for a channel. So I'd say like 10 to 25 for like the really big channels like Truth. I'm sure maybe a bit more, maybe like 30, but nobody's hitting 50%. If they are, it's like Mr. Beast or like PewDiePie. Well, not even PewDiePie, because he gets like 6 to 10 million views. So he's not getting the 100 million subs, right? Views. So that's just like, that's very normal, right? It's very normal. So moving on to the actual pros and cons of it, because I did put that in the description. I might do like some timestamps here, maybe. We'll see. The pros and cons. The pros, obviously, when you have more subscribers, for whatever reason, people will sub to your channel more because they see you as someone who you got to that point, right? Getting 10,000 subscribers is not easy. You don't really sub. I'm guilty as charged. I didn't start subbing to smaller guys, so I started doing my YouTube channel, Gotcha Talks. Because I have two accounts. I have one account that I follow everything else, and then I have this account that, primarily YouTube and all my friends, and I sub to a lot more people here. But that is just something that you have to keep in mind, that that is a pro. It is a pro having a bigger sub count because people see that. But if you have a bigger sub count and you have like 100 views per video, come on. You don't want that. You do not want to have that. People do not notice that, and it sucks. You don't want to be that person that has 10,000, 20,000 subs and your views are like Don't get me wrong, views will not be high all the time because YouTube's very weird with their algorithm, and you know, notifications don't always go out and things don't always hit. So you just have to keep that in mind, right? You gotta keep that in mind. It's not going to be all the time hitting those big numbers, but for the most part, you do want to have like a general amount of views per video, be it with a certain sub count. Like you have 1,000 subs, you want to be anywhere, you want to be hitting those like 100 views at least. If you're at 3,000, you definitely want to be hitting like 200, 300 views at least. Like I get it, it's harder. It's hard getting a lot of views per video. It's completely understandable. But yeah, the biggest pro is definitely having a nice little number there that people could see, be like, oh wow, this guy has 10,000 subs, he's serious. Now here comes the cons. The second that you're figured out to be subbotting, right? The second people know that you're subbotting, your rep will die. Nobody's gonna want to work with you, and you're basically blacklisted from whatever community you're in. And it's a huge unfortunate, and people know. People talk. We all know who subbots. We all know who doesn't. It's very normal for any community. Every community knows who does and who doesn't. And once we figure out someone who does, you don't want to work with that said person. It's not like we hate them or anything, but it's our brands that we have that are on the line. Because you want to focus on your brands as well. Your brand is extremely, extremely important, and you do not want to have a brand with subbots in your name. You don't want that. I understand it's very difficult to hit that first 1,000 subscribers. I understand completely because I went through it. I upload over 700 videos to get to 1,000 subscribers. Trust me, I understand. It's annoying, it's tough, but it's not worth it. I'm telling you guys now, as a friend, it is not worth it. You do not want to be known as that guy who bought it. You don't, because nobody's going to want to work with you. Nobody's going to want to collab with you because, again, we have brands on our line, and you do not want to tarnish your brand. You just don't want to do that because, again, you know, it's just it is what it is in that sense that you just don't want to work with people who buy views or whatever, because again, it's just kind of frowned upon. Because for me, I don't sleep. I forget to eat. I don't take care of myself as much as I should because all I focus is on YouTube, Twitch, and 5ix9ine. Those are the main things I focus on every single day of my life. I just throw myself constantly, consistently, over again into creating content. I do not stop creating content because I want it. I want the lifestyle. I would love to become a full-time YouTuber, full-time Twitch guy, help my mom, help my friends in whatever way I can. So trust me, I get it, but it's not worth botting. Do not do that. Put in the work. Cry the days when you don't get subs. It's fine. It's tough. We're going through it. It's one of the toughest processes to do it. Taking the easy way out is not worth it. You do not want to screw up your CTR. You do not want to screw up your reputation because your reputation is key. It is 100% key. It's extremely important to your success on YouTube. Rep is 100% because, you know, you want people to talk highly of you as much as they can. And I'm not saying like in the kiss ass way, I'm saying more in the friendship way, because, you know, you never know who you can meet. You never know how your life could change from one person. And once you subbot, you kind of lose that. You lose it all. You definitely lose it all in terms of working with bigger creators, because again, there's brands at stake. Even at me with this 1,000 subs, I can't work with someone who bots. I just can't. I don't want to talk to somebody who's bought. I don't want to work with anybody who's done that because it could hurt my brand. It could hurt my rep. So that's just kind of like my honest opinion about the matter. I know this it's a bit long. It's about 13 minutes, but again, I wanted to make like a good video basically describing how to tell the pros and cons. There is some pros, but the second you get caught, those pros become cons real quick. I promise. You don't want to be known as that guy. Do not bot. I get it. YouTube's tough. YouTube is hard, but it's not worth taking that route. I promise you, it's just not worth it. Because again, it hurts you more in the end. It hurts more, and you just don't want that. You want to be known for your successes on YouTube. You want to be known as a positive influence. You don't want to be known as a guy who bots. So to everybody out there who's trying to aspire to be a YouTuber, keep grinding, dude. It takes a lot of time. Again, you don't want fake subs. You want people who love your content. You want people who listen to you. You want people to be there for you and for you to be there for them, not for bots. You don't want that. So again, I hope this video helps you guys out. I will be making I'm going to be making a couple more like actual like YouTube videos, like how the algorithm works, how YouTube works, and stuff like that to kind of just, talk a bit more on those topics. Because again, I don't care. I primarily do Dokkan and like Dragon Ball, but I could do other stuff too. It doesn't matter. I could. YouTube's YouTube. Enjoy it. As long as you come up with good video ideas, I think anything flies. So this is going to be the start of a new look at the channel. Again, obviously all the gameplay stuff like that will be Dokkan, and Gacha games will be news. And then I do plan to do these type of videos every once in a while on basically how YouTube works. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, to all my baller creators out there trying to hit their first 100 subs, you guys got this. You guys got this. Get through it. I will definitely be making how to get to your first 100 subs, how to get to your first 1,000 subs, because again, I understand, and whatever help I could give you guys, that's what I'm here for. So definitely will be making some more videos in the future. Hope this video helps you guys, and thank you for all the support. Appreciate every single one of you, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody, and peace out.